So the time has come to finally release these doors. Time to diversify the market a bit. So I'm gonna put this out there that these doors we've literally developed them within 3 days. Cookie has been the one that has modelled the doors. He's done all the readers. He's done all the buttons, and I'm the one that's just gotten all the scripting to work. So these doors actually door. Um, so yeah, if there are bugs, please report them. And if you are going to report them, do it in Unity, not DRS. It just lets us, split things up. Um, so we're going to probably release this via Toolbox. So you're just going to drag it in from your Toolbox and just going to ungroup it. So the first thing you can do is you can delete this little thumbnail camera, which isn't even a thumbnail camera at the moment because I've fucked it up. And now here we have your variants of doors. Now the funny thing is you can literally go ahead and drag these around and they will work. But if you want this to work best for your experience, then hold off, follow this tutorial. So I'm just going to go over the access card. So it's a different access card to what you would use with Prox or maybe any other system. We have an access card variable and an access level. So these are the two things which tell the doors that it's an access card. So if you have like a universal card, you can copy these values over. This is a ball value. It doesn't have to be true or false. It's just in there. And then we also have the access level, which is useful, and we'll get into that because you can have different access levels. And if you're wondering, this little snippet of text here will change automatically on what level, and you can customize this card as much as you want. Like, that's completely up to you. So to get started, what I'd recommend doing is pulling a door aside that you like the look of. So I'm just going to pull this one over here. And now we're going to go through the settings of the doors. And you can copy settings over from other settings as well, so don't feel scared that you can't. So the structure of the door is quite simple. You have the door event, we have the Unity access, and we have the actual door. And how these work is basically the doors and the door event are two things together, so they're separate. So if you wanted to link these doors up to a different API, if you did want to use DWProx with our models of doors and how they work, you can. You can absolutely do that. It should work, fingers crossed. So I haven't tested it, so don't take my word for it, but you can customize it in this settings module here. So in our settings module, you can see, so we have the door open time, is how long the door's going to linger open for. If someone scans a card or presses a press to exit button and it goes through, then this is what the script will do. So it's going to fire this door event with open, and then after the door open time, it's going to fire it with close. We also have a button whitelist in here as well. So you know these press to exit buttons, which I refer to many times. They have a whitelist on them, so if you don't want random guests being able to press them, you can simply enable it here. You can put user IDs in, you can put player names in, and you can also put group IDs in. And that function can be edited here. So if you have a Unity ranking cache or you want to add teams to it, you can. And then there is also an option for a global API, which we've not implemented yet, but we're looking to add that, just so like maybe if you want to integrate it with Armodia, Flow 2 or anything like that. If you want to integrate it, you can. Not yet, but we're going to work on that. So then the buttons and readers are split up, even though I've accidentally done that wrong, so I'm going to have to do that. So inside of every reader and button, there's settings. The button settings you shouldn't have to edit, because all the button settings does is points straight back to this whitelist function here. However, for reader settings, you can see here we have allowed cards going from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you want your card to be able to access this door, then this value in this card must be one of these. So if you wanted to have like level 1 for normal colleagues, then maybe level 2 for supervisors, level 3 for executive management. You know, if you wanted only certain people to get into certain doors, you can do it with this. And then we move on to the webhook manager, which is a completely open source script, and it also gives insight to how the API works. So if you want to use webhooks, you would simply set this to true, change this to the name of your door, and then put your webhook link in here. As far as I know, Discord webhooks still don't work with Roblox, so you can use Hooks, which is a proxy. And then we have the code here, which you can simply edit if you want to add more things, or just change how the embeds look in your messages. But if you're just going to be using this basically, and you don't really understand how scripting works, these are the 3 things you're going to want to change up here. There is one last bit, but it's more of a scripty bit, is in door event there is a return function, and what this does is once this door has successfully closed, it will send an event back to the API. Because how these readers work and these buttons work is that once you tap a card or press a button, that reader and button will be disabled until the door is fully closed and locked. So then people can't spam it and break it. So if you don't have this return functioning, if you do like try and use a custom door, then you tap the reader once, but the reader is never going to unlock itself again. So it's just to stop people from tapping it. And you can also put your own custom stuff in here as well. But yeah, I mean, that's mostly it for the setup of these. It's quite simple. You can drag and drop them wherever you want. If you're going to do like a union like this around them, if you're going to like slot a door into a union, something like that, which you see in a lot of places, just make sure the collision fidelity is set to precise. Because if not, sometimes the collisions of unions can be a bit skew if they're not precise. And there's like an invisible barrier and you have no idea where it's come from. Cookie's doing stuff, that's good. In terms of adding readers, you can see we have some examples here. If you want to swap out your readers, you can. If you want to delete your buttons as well, sometimes people don't want to press to exit buttons, so you can actually come into the Unity access folder. Don't delete the buttons folder because it will get angry with you. Just delete the exit press, and there you go. You don't have a button. Maybe you just want to have 2 readers, which you can do just by duplicating them. And then I'm just going to rotate this one. And then I'm literally just going to put it here. So now both sides of this door have readers. Oh, I zoomed in there. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe we don't want this ugly P50 reader. Maybe we're going to pull these readers out. And instead we're going to come and get one of these ones. So if you want to put a reader in, it's quite straightforward. So you have a selection here to choose from. We're going to add more as we go. We've just got a few down. So let's say we want to go for this one. You can literally just copy it, come to your door, come into readers, and then just paste it into readers, and then you can drag it into its respective area, and now that reader will work. Quite simple. And yeah, that's it really. It's mostly a drag and drop system. You can have multiple readers, you can have multiple push to exit buttons. We'll probably add hold buttons and maybe even function cards at some point. We don't know yet. We're just trying to get doors out and then more readers, and then But once we get the basic of the doors out, then we'll start working on get more readers out, get more features out, and also just improve in general. But 3 days later, and we have this. Obviously, we've tested it as much as we can. Lidl blocks have been a massive help to test this as well. So I want to thank Luke and Nathan for literally me sending them a file yesterday at midnight saying, "Hey, can you put this stuff in?" And they did. So yeah, we hope you enjoy using these doors, and we're always open to suggestions.